Hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm Boomy, and today we are watching Film Theory: What Everyone Got Wrong About Squid Game by the channel Film Theorists. Yeah, this wasn't suggested by anyone, but I saw this pop up on my feed, and it felt like I gotta watch it. I mean, I've recently watched Squid Game. Well, not recently. It was like a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, the whole thing. There's been a lot of controversy. Well, not really that bad a controversy. It's just like there's been a whole lot of debate. Let's just say about whether how they were conducting the games, was it fair or not. I think for a lot of them it was fair, well, except the glass bridge thing. They shouldn't have turned off the lights, and I don't think the whole finale there where they blew up the glass was fair, but it was very entertaining for the VIPs, so I guess there's that. But in a way, I still say that it is still fair, since basically all of them were subjected to the same possibility of being stabbed by the by broken glass, basically. So yeah, it was just unlucky that the chick got the one in the belly, but yeah, technically that was still fair. I mean, don't fight me on that, but yeah, let's go ahead and watch this one and see what MatPat has in store for us today. I'm really excited to see his views and opinions regarding the whole Squid Game. So yeah, let's go ahead and check this out and see. So remember, if you like my reactions, don't forget to leave a like, let me know your thoughts on the video down in the comment section below, and consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to leave your suggestions on what I should check out next. That being said, let's go ahead and watch the video.
You're thrown into a series of 6 mystery games with 400 other players. A pot of $44 million is on the line. But more importantly, if you lose,
wasn't it like
other channels have
30 million
to winning the specific games.
USD?
And honestly, the show itself does a pretty darn good job of showing you creative solutions to its various puzzles. But today, we're gonna help you survive when you're going in blind, just like the contestants. This is how to survive the Squid Game.
Alright.
Mild spoiler warning for some of the games and strategies. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the show that's brought to you by our totally not made-up sponsor for today's episode, USB Power Banks. Are you an off-duty police officer who went out of your way to infiltrate a secret society?
Is this the real ad?
In the hopes of discovering a long-lost family member? If so, a USB Power Bank is the product for you. This device fits into your pocket, is smaller than a cell phone, and can keep your camera powered for days on.
Ooh, that phone! Damn, that is... I'm sorry, I'm geeking out a bit. I have had this phone before. I forgot what brand it was. It was just handed to me by my father. So yeah, I've had this phone before. Damn, this is some nostalgia shit right here.
So that when you do finally perform a miraculous escape from Death Game Island, you have more than a few minutes of video and a 50-word notepad file to show for your efforts. USB power banks. Seriously, what were you thinking? Anyway, I finally
Okay, so it wasn't a legit ad.
Along with most of the rest of the US at this point, and I loved the series. It was tense, it was clever, it was also completely misunderstood by everyone watching it. You see, the thing is being called the next Hunger Games, the new Battle Royale.
Yeah, technically it wasn't Hunger Games. It's not a battle royale, because that would imply that they literally have to kill each other like last man standing. But it is not. I'm even gonna presume that there is a way for most of them to no, not most of them, for multiple of them to win, because Squid Game, the actual game, I think we have a similar version here in the Philippines that we play on like street corners. Damn. Ah man, my knowledge of those games aren't really as good, so I can't even remember what the game is called. But yeah, I'm gonna ask my my brother what it is actually called, and I'm gonna put the name right here. If there's no name there, then by the time I was done editing this, he didn't get back to me. But yeah, the actual Squid Game though, I think at least in the version where I'm from here in the Philippines, we play it in teams where like there's people on one side and you gotta go to the other side and back, but there will be like sections where people will be posted and guarding. So if you imagine like a street or a road, um, you basically have the whole road to play with, but during those like sections, like how do you even call it, horizontal sections, there will be one person keeping guard, and you'll be out once you're tagged, and they can only go from side to side. So yeah, that was the version that grew up playing. So yeah, that said, the main point is I think there is a way for multiple of them to have won. So thinking, going into the game thinking that it was a battle royale, last man standing is probably not a good thought.
The cinematic version of Fall Guys. The thing is,
Yeah,
these
Fall
comparisons
Guys.
really miss the mark because fundamentally, this isn't how the games in the show work. And if you're one of the people making that comparison, it's likely gonna get you killed. Don't worry,
Mm-hmm.
most of the characters in the series fell into the same trap, and, well, let's just say it didn't end well for them. But have no fear, MatPat is here. By the time you're done with this video, you'll understand the real way to survive the 6 rounds of playground games,
All right,
regardless of
let's
what
hear it.
individual challenges you're faced with. So the next time some random guy in a subway offers you 100,000 won to flip his paper square, or when season 2 finally launches, because let's face it, this smash hit is absolutely
Yeah,
getting itself a sequel.
we're
You'll
getting
be
a season
prepared to
2.
survive the Squid. So pay attention. The information today might just save your life and make you rich in the process. For the 10 of you out there who still haven't watched Squid Game, here's the briefest of summaries just so you get through today's theory. Gion is a down on his luck gambler who's in dire need of some cash. He's got loan sharks after him, his mother can't afford her surgery, and on top of that, he's gonna lose custody of his daughter because he can't afford to pay a lawyer. Desperate, he agrees to play the highest stakes game imaginable. He's whisked away to a remote island with over 400 other competitors where, in order to win, they have to survive 6
Man,
different
it's
children.
really crazy that nobody thought to check the walls, because now that you know that the games were basically in the walls, nobody really took the time to observe their environment. I mean, if you check out the middle portion here, you can see like the images. It's just surprising, I guess, because when I was watching this show, I like on episode 2, I believe, when they got out, um, I already knew right then that the old man is somebody important, and probably is the one orchestrating this whole thing. Not just because he is number one, and it was mainly because on the first episode they already, I mean, the show already displayed that it was like not your typical show. It's not cliche. It is a bit smart, and in shows like that, I always like keep my guard up when it comes to twists. I know that's not an enjoyable way to watch any show, but that's just me. I overthink things. So yeah, when they met up with Gihan there, that was just too big a coincidence for for the show to make. So that's when I really made the connection that he was probably the one running the whole thing.
Over 400 other competitors where, in order
Now, as to why he was running it, I didn't get it at that point, but yeah.
to win, they have to survive 6 different children's games. Some of them are pass-fail challenges like red light, green light, where failure results in execution. Others are player versus player games like tug of war, where the losing team falls to their death. As for why you'd possibly want to risk your life in a game like this, well, each death adds 100 million won to the prize pool. 100 million won! Can you believe that? Now all of you are scrambling to Google for that conversion rate. Don't worry, I did it too when I was watching the show, and so did everyone else based on the Google Trends search results for won to US dollar
Damn.
conversion. It actually amounts to about
That's a lot.
$84,000 per death. Considering that there are 456 contestants, you're talking about a potential prize pool of $38 million.
Yep, it was
So
38
be
million.
warned, once you start playing, you're not allowed to stop playing. And those who do refuse to play have to worry about clause number 2.
Consent form clause 2. A player who refuses
Oh
to play
no.
will be eliminated.
When they say elimination,
Dubs.
they mean a bullet and your head intersecting in an unpleasant way. The only way out once the games have started is...
Consent form clause 3. If all of the players agree to stop playing,
Oh
the games are allowed to
man.
end.
That's
See, this is why we need to watch the subs for this one. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ignite a whole subs versus dubs debate, but his voice just doesn't fit the look of the character, let's be honest.
It's actually a mistranslation, by the way. It's if the majority of players vote
Yup,
in the game. That's why subs are always better than dubs. So
yes, thank you, Matt Pat. Yeah, subs is always better than dubs. But yeah, you get mistranslations like this. So that's why for most of the Squid Game reactions that I've seen, a lot of them, well, a lot of them did watch the sub, but I've seen a couple who've watched um what do you call this? Who've watched the dub and got a few moments wrong just because of the translation.
anyway, with the rules laid out, let's get to the strategy. Like I mentioned before, the players don't know what games they're going to be playing until they get to the Death Island. If they're observant, they can piece together clues based on the wall decorations around them, but still, it's not going to give them much time to prepare or practice. And so that's what we're going to assume today, that we've just signed up and have no idea what's in store for us. In this massive game of death, what should our general strategies be? First, we shouldn't assume that just because people are dying, that this is a death game, because it's not. The rules state
Everyone here will participate in 6 different games.
Yeah, that's also the thing, right? They've established that rules are everything, and they're very particular with the rules too. Let's see. Aside from the clauses, you generally only get like the rules of each game. So, and they're very keen on enforcing those rules. So it would go like it would be safe to bet that rules not stated can probably well, you can probably do things that aren't stated in the rules as long as they're not contradicting or breaking the rules.
Those who win all 6 games will receive a handsome cash prize.
if you survive, you win. And sure, while each death boosts the pot, it's not like a battle royale or Hunger Games scenario where there can only be one left standing.
Yep,
Here,
there you
can
go.
be more than one winner, and that's important. It means
Yes, I was right. There can be more than one winners. Because yeah, he is right. Again, this is not a battle royale, so they never stated that. They never stated how many people needed to win. They just said that if you win all 6 games, no, what was the actual wording? I'm gonna go ahead and check. Yeah, those who win all 6 games will receive a cash prize, right? So it stands to reason that since they're very like particular with the wording of how they give out instructions, they never said that there was only one winner. So it stands to reason that there's a chance that a lot of them can win. If not, they're just probably gonna play Squid Game until there's only one person left.
means that the survival of one person or even a group of people is not directly negative to your personal survival. Which then
That is
opens up
true.
the question, should you be sabotaging your fellow players in order to boost the prize pot and advance yourself? This is a dilemma that actually pops up repeatedly throughout the series. In the second game, Song-woo figures out the game before anyone else does, punching a shape out of a fragile honeycomb candy. Knowing this, he immediately chooses the easiest shape and then encourages the other players on his team to split up, getting them to take shapes that are much more difficult and much more likely to lead to their elimination. Obviously, there's all kinds of moral and ethical reasons why you shouldn't intentionally try to kill other people, but what Song-woo does here in Game 2 is one of the stupidest moves that we see anyone make across the entire series.
How so?
The people he chooses to sabotage are people that have agreed to
Ah.
team up with him. The players who, in the event of a fight, are more likely to have his back as
Yes, that is true. If your goal is like to eliminate people by sabotaging them, right? Why would you do it with the people who are willing to help you? You could sabotage a lot of other people. Yeah, you could have like just went to a lot of people and say, "Hey, I think it's this game. I think it's game X, Y, and Z," to get them to lose basically lose their guard and lose concentration for a couple of minutes.
as opposed to, say, planting a knife between his shoulder blades. Oh wait, that's exactly what we see happen. They come to his rescue the following night when everyone tries killing each other. But teaming up isn't just about keeping people in your personal alliance safe. Keeping more players in the game for longer means more chances for other people to help you survive. Again, take that honeycomb game as the example. In it, players are given a needle to punch out their shape, which is fine for easy shapes like a triangle, but not very effective for the more fragile shapes like the umbrella or star. However, one person in the group, our hero Gian, out of desperation comes up with a completely out-of-the-box strategy, ignoring the needle entirely and licking the candy so the shape
That
comes
was an
out.
ingenious
This, in
way.
turn, saves multiple other contestants who copy the
Yeah.
strategy. People who otherwise would have been eliminated just like the rest. That's why it's stupid when the players try to kill each other between games 2 and 3, because these are men whose lives were saved by the
True. Especially since you don't know what the games are, even if it's for selfish reasons, like using them as meat shields or using them like test dummies to test out like the rules of the game. It is really stupid that they try to kill each other here. But I guess when greed comes into play, it's really hard to reason.
person that they're now attempting to eliminate. You know what they say, 2 heads are better than 1, so 50 heads should be even better, and 400 heads is even better than
That
that.
is
That's why
true.
the internet hive mind is so good at solving puzzles. Everyone brings their own experiences and expertise to the table.
Yep.
So let's just say that you were, I don't know, faced with a challenge that involves jumping across panels of glass, with 50% of those panels being tempered and safe to stand on. Well,
Yeah, regarding this, I don't know if they really meant to like how many glasses were there? I forgot to count how many. There was what? Let's say 20 pairs of glasses. So imagine if they have like 50 people. I mean, I'm not sure if they adjust the number of glasses depending on how many people are playing, but let's say it is a fuck, I can't speak today. Let's say it's a set of 20, right? Because I don't think they can make major changes since they're already there. Major changes to the design of the game. But yeah, let's just say there were 20 sets. Imagine if there were like 50 people still here. More than half of them are are gonna survive, and then that would mean more than half will be playing Squid Game. Would have made the ending more interesting.
it would be really helpful if the group had someone who is a glass expert that could tell the difference between tempered and untempered glass. Oh wait, that's exactly what happens. Except instead of sharing his knowledge, the glass expert hides this fact until the end, after practically all the other players have died. This is stupid, not just from a statistical angle, but also from a strategic one, considering that most of the games are timed. Everyone else, realizing that they're just blindly guessing on a coin flip that could cost them their life, wastes time. Every second that you're hiding your knowledge is a second that the group isn't making progress. As a result, our glassmaker, despite having the knowledge that should have kept him alive through this challenge, ultimately dies because he runs out of time. Had he shared it from the get-go, mostly everyone could have survived what was one of the most disastrous and difficult challenges of the
Yeah,
batch. Also,
that
can I
was
just digress here for a minute? This
okay.
one bothered me. I just didn't really like this challenge. I get that it was a cool visual and interesting concept, but the challenge just didn't work for me. It didn't seem to be based on a playground
Yeah.
game like all the others. The game
Yeah, that's true too. The glass bridge was the only one that I can't associate as a game for kids. I mean, you can imagine it as like kids like jumping on the bars of like monkey bars and stuff, but I think that's too dangerous to be a kids game. So yeah, I this whole challenge was just served the purpose of lowering the numbers so that we can get the one-on-one for the final game.
game makers cheat by turning off the lights midway through, which directly counteracts
Yes, that too. They did cheat that. Oh man, that one was just sad.
Their whole everyone has a fair chance motto, the whole putting people into a specific order felt unfair, and then the way they conclude it with a giant explosive finale puts everyone's lives at risk. It was just good spectacle, but also something that felt kind of cheap. Alright, rant over. Of course, there is the elephant in the room. Every player who dies adds more money to the prize pot, but that's the wrong way to think about it. Let's assume that, like we see in the show, there are 6 rounds, and that there will be at least 3 games that require 50% of the players to be eliminated. This would be games like Tug of War and Marbles, where some amount of death is guaranteed. That means that your portion of the prize pot is already going to be sitting at a hefty 800 million won, $668,000 even before any additional deaths from the other games. If you're someone like Gian who has loan sharks to pay off, a family member's surgery to pay for, and an ex-spouse to fight in court, that amount should cover everything while still leaving you with enough to make a down payment on a new house. There's also an economic principle called the law of diminishing utility, which states
Yep, in true MatPat fashion, we're gonna get into some real law theories. So, yeah, let's go ahead and listen to this one.
that if someone is down on their luck, having an extra $80,000 is a huge, massive deal. If you're Gian, that money has a lot of use. But if you're already standing to win over $600,000, another $80K on top is certainly nice, but no longer is the life-changing sum of money that it once was. Once you're
I mean, it's still $80,000 though. You can do a lot, but I think he's referring to the point of view that you literally have to risk your life to get that extra 80,000. So in that sense, yeah, I kind of get it that it's not really worth it at that point, but it's just interesting.
basic needs are met, as income increases, you gain a correspondingly smaller and smaller increase in your life satisfaction.
Well, that too, I kind of get it, but coming from a poor person, having bigger income does not make me sad.
Get a slightly nicer car, a slightly nicer house. Therefore, it's not something that's worth risking your life over. This is
Yeah, again, if we're talking about like risking your life for that small increase, it's not worth it. But if you're not risking your life, shit, I'll take the extra money.
surprisingly a topic that the last episode focuses on, though for spoiler reasons I'm not going to play the clip. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that any winner of the Squid Games shouldn't have that money, but what I am saying is that there's a tipping point where each additional dollar earned is less and less worth risking your own life to achieve. And by just
Sure.
playing the game with survival as your first priority, you wind up with plenty of money to change your situation while also minimizing your risk of losing that life, so, you know, you can go on and spend it. Obviously,
Yep.
there's going to be rounds where you're forced to fight for your life and eliminate other players, but if you don't have to kill people, then don't. Never thought that's a sentence I'd have to say, but here we are. But there is one big concern that you have to be aware of. Clause number 3.
Commentary.
At any point, the players can vote on whether or not to end the game. If the majority of players want out, that causes the game to end not just for them, but for everyone. In order for you to walk home with your money, you have to complete 6 games. But people will probably vote to escape the games if they're put into a position where they're almost certainly gonna die. So, with that in mind, let's go back to the glass bridge. Unless you have outside knowledge of what tempered and untempered glass looks like, the game is generally decided by random coin flips. And by coin flips, I mean the first few people in line coming down with a mild case of death for the good of the group. In the challenge, there are 18 sets of panels. Worst case scenario, you have
So
18
my
deaths. The best
20
case scenario
estimates
is 0
was
deaths, with the person
near.
in front correctly guessing every time, but fat chance there. As player number 3 correctly estimates when he's 3 panels in,
Probability that I'll get everything right is 1 in 32,768.
overall, if you're first in line, you have a 1 in 262,144 chance of survival. The average here is 9 deaths, with the probability distribution curve basically looking like a bell curve, which you can see using any binomial visualization tool. You have one of those handy, right? Using that probability chart, we can see that the first 6 people in line are basically screwed, having less than a 5% chance to survive, while the people going 13th and later have a 95% or better chance to survive. But even if you're trapped in the game with no calculator, it doesn't take a whole lot of brain power to determine that you do not not want to be one of the first 9 people to play. So you, as a smart player, hopefully chose not to be one of the first few people in line, but even if you're feeling good about your odds of survival, remember that for you to actually make it across the bridge, you need the game to happen. Let's say that the game has been reduced to 13 players, and you're lucky enough to be 13th in line. That's good news for you. You have 95% odds to survive. However, you probably won't make it across the bridge for the simple reason that there are good odds that the first 7 people in line are gonna nope the heck out of there, going with a majority vote to end the game, meaning that
That's true. I don't think what do you call this? I don't think Clause 3 ever stated that they can only vote to stop the game like during or in between game sessions, right? So if that's the case, then they could probably put it to a majority vote during the game as they see what the game is. Then again, I think it was either clause 2 or clause 1. One of the other clauses say that once you start playing the game you can't back out. So I guess that whole point was moot. I'm sorry.
even though you had the ideal position and would have won, you get nothing. Good day, sir. And you see, this is exactly what could have happened in the show. 16 players remaining, knowing that the first 9 were likely to die, they could have voted to end the game right then and there, and because they were in the majority, clause number 3 would have been enacted. Game over. Now let's take the alternate scenario. Let's assume knowledge was shared and everyone's cooperating. At this point, there would have been 2 50% elimination games, tug of war and marbles. In the best case scenario, 456 players would have been reduced to 114. By the time you get to the bridge, even if every single one of those first 18 people in line got cold feet, they wouldn't have enough votes to end the game. And instead of most of them being wiped out, we'd expect an average of 9 of those players, or 8% of the 114 player group, to get eliminated. 92% of players surviving to get past this game, pretty darn good odds. Sure, your chances of survival...
Imagine 80 plus people playing Squid Game. They probably either need to have like a really big like diagram of the Squid Game, or they're gonna have like a tournament style Squid Game where multiple games are going on at the same time.
Increase the more people are around you to take the blows. So now that we've spent a lot of time talking about what not to do, what can you do to increase your odds of surviving in Squid Game? Apart, of course, from playing nice with your fellow competitors. Well, the first one is obvious. Don't panic. Red light, green light is an easy game, and the timer was very generous as long as you stay calm and you use your time wisely. Also, just like with the 3 clauses, make sure that you're paying attention to the game's rules. For instance, we see Songwoo cheat at marbles by misdirecting his partner, but his method for collecting 20 marbles doesn't actually involve breaking any of the rules that are established by the game master.
Yeah, see that one as well. While we all know, we probably all can agree, what Sungwoo did was scummy. It was wrong. He shouldn't have done it. He was about to lose. He should have just took it like a man and lost. But then again, the rules never. I mean, the game rules never stated that you can't cheat and lie your way into getting the 10 marbles. It just had to say that you have to play marbles, and no, I don't think they even meant. I think, oh man, I'm not sure if they even mentioned that it has to be a marbles game. I think they just mentioned that you need to get the 10 marbles from your partner. So yeah, while it is a scummy move, he was doing it like within technically the bounds of the game rules. So, I guess that's that. Rip Ali.
The player who manages to take all 10 marbles from their partner wins.
Repeatedly throughout the series, we see players presented with an obvious solution, like the needle in the honeycomb game, and they just assume that because this is the default or recommended way to play the game, it must therefore be the only way to play the game. But
See, that's where speedrunners disagree. They don't follow the conventional way of playing the game.
rarely is that the case. You can lie to your partner and take his marbles. You can lick your candy until the sugar melts. The problem everyone falls into is that they assume certain rules are there when in fact they're not. In the Glass Bridge episode, we see that Gian was able to take a single marble as a keepsake with him, which ended up being relevant in that very game. A second, third, or 20 more marbles could have come in real handy with that one. Also with that Glass Bridge, the rules just state that you have to jump from panel panel to panel.
For this
Yeah.
game, you will guess which one of the next two tiles is the tile made of the stronger tempered glass, and only step on those across the 18 pairs of tiles.
But nothing said that you had to land on the middle of each panel. Landing
That's
with your
true.
feet on the
Oh shit, that's right. You probably can't land in like the middle between the two panels because that would be against the rules because they clearly said that you need to land on a panel. So landing on the edges is probably the smartest move to make here. Then again, if that cracks under your bare feet, that probably would still hurt. But, well, there's nothing to say there. It will probably still hurt.
supporting bars holding up the glass is going to reduce the weight on that glass, ultimately helping resist the breakage. Is it breaking the rules? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. But here's the thing.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know
think
that you're
so.
gonna die if you choose wrong, so why not try pushing the edges of the rules just a little bit?
There
when
you
there's
go.
nothing else to lose. By taking a
Yep.
moment to think about the actual hard
Let's see. Players not allowed to stop playing, so yeah, it was class 1. So yeah, if you refuse to play, you'll be eliminated. So yeah, they can't do a majority vote in between the games. No, not in between, while playing the game.
rules of the game and not automatically dismissing unconventional solutions by assuming that anything else isn't allowed, you might actually be able to find a loophole that allows you to survive. Lastly, use your surroundings. Not only are the walls giving you clues, but your clothes, the bed, the springs, and the mattresses, all of it could potentially prove useful.
Oh man, imagine if they bought like one of these bars from the other nights, especially when they were doing riots. If they had one section of this bed, they could have tested like the glass right there, right there and then, right then and there. But yeah, damn, woo,
Were you
missed
given a glass
opportunity.
bottle yesterday as a part of your meal? Instead of breaking it to try and shank your opponents, why not bring it with you to your next game? Tug of war. Throw it onto your opponent's platform to throw them off balance, or put glass under their feet. Maybe cut the rope so neither side loses. Another thing that I want to get off my chest, this is just a terrible idea.
That was
That's all
interesting.
senses when you move around.
That person in front of you is going to stop at times that you don't expect or anticipate. If they get shot, that bullet might go through them and pierce you, or their dead body might knock into you. And instead of focusing on the game itself, you're going to be focused on another person as you run down that field, which is not where your attention needs to be. In short, your number one strategy to surviving the Squid Game should be to ignore Sung-woo.
I think he would put us at a disadvantage if we just choose one.
For being the smartest person in the room, all of his ideas are dumb. I guess
Oh.
except for the tug of war game. Anyway, if you
Yeah.
happen to meet a well-dressed
Tug of war idea was pretty clutch. Not gonna lie.
man in a train station who invites you to throw squares
Say
of
no.
paper at each other, now you know what to do, and that's to say no. Because unless your desire to win more than $500,000 is greater than your desire to have more than a 12% chance of surviving the next week of your life, it's not going to be worth it. But hey, that's just a theory.
More half a different series.
Film theory. And here's a game for you. Press that subscribe button as fast as you can. See how many times you can press it before this video ends. Maybe you'll end up subscribed to this channel. Maybe you won't. We'll find out together. It'll give me the weirdest data for unsubbed, resubbed to a video of all time. YouTube Analytics is gonna be so mad at me for this one.
Yeah, that was what everyone got wrong about Squid Game and how to win it, or at least increase your chance of winning it. So yeah, that was a really good theory though. I kind of have to agree with what with most of what MatPat said. Yeah, especially the one about it being a battle royale. I've asked a couple of people what they think about Squid Game, and they think that it's well, they basically thought that it was a battle royale, and they didn't even open up to the possibility that a lot or multiple people could win the game, because I think it's because we're primed to see that whenever we see like death games, there can only be one winner. So yeah, that was very interesting though. And the deep analysis on the whole law of diminishing utility, I think it was a really good like point to bring up, because unless if you're not, well, is that a right term? No, I think not. But regardless, unless if you're not putting your life on the line, then going going bigger when it comes to the prize pool is not really worth it. But yeah, that was a really good video. I'm glad that he finally put some sense into most of the fan theories. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Link to my Twitter is down in the description below. Gonna check it out if you want to. And if you're new here and enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on the video down in the comment section below and consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to leave your suggestions on what I should check out next. That being said, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all next time. Bye!